Hi, I'm Dr. Kishor Tewary. I'm a paediatrician based in Birmingham, and my special interest in kidney and bladder disorders. So, carrying on that, I'd like to talk about bedwetting in children today, which is a very common but very ignored area of attention, especially in the NHS. And because of the social taboo, it always goes in a hidden area for the society as well. So, what is bedwetting? Bedwetting is a wetting, involuntary wetting of the urine at night for children more than 5 years of age. So, children below 5, they are not pathological, but once children cross the age of 5, then we think it is a pathological entity because children are supposed to be dry by 3 years of age in daytime and 5 years of age by nighttime. Now, it will be surprising to know that despite not having enough attention for this entity, currently there are about 500,000 children affected by this in the UK. Most of them are boys because there is a hypothesis that girls tend to mature earlier and faster. And most of them are below 10 years of age. So when we look at the incidence, about 15 to 20% of children aged 5 and above are affected by it. When they go to 10 years, it goes down to 5 to 10%. And when they grow to puberty, there are still 2% of children or young adults who go into late adulthood with this problem. And though it is a physical problem, it leads into psychological and emotional issues if not timely managed. And these children, especially after 7 years of age, when they start growing awareness, it goes into their self-esteem and psychosocial behaviors. So they try to hide from their parents. They are afraid to go for night outs or their school trips, and they just don't think that they are good enough. And that problem gradually eats their emotional development for long. And that's why it's not a sinister disorder, but it's a nuisance. And if not timely sorted, it can lead to long-term morbidities. Now, why children have bedwetting? I say there are examples of or principles of 3. So first one is lack of sleep arousal. When children don't have a good bladder and brain coordination, so we all get full by early morning, and the bladder tells to brain that I am full, brain sends signals to the muscles, and the bladder empties it out. But in these children who are very heavy sleeper, they get full by early morning, and the bladder is not able to coordinate to the brain because it's heavily slept. And then bladder decides automatically to get the urine out, and children sleep through it. The second variety is nocturnal polyuria. So we all have a hormone at night, which is called vasopressin, and this hormone limits our urine production. So we stop having much urine production at night. But in these children, this vasopressin does not surge enough, and the bladder gets filled like in the daytime. So it keeps on getting full every few hours, and children get wet. They are aware to get up and go to toilet afterwards, but it is a problem. They can't stop it before getting wet. And third is overactivity of bladder or small functioning bladder capacity. When the bladder goes a little bit smaller because of spasm or kind of a reaction to something outside triggers, such as constipation or a UTI. And these children can have day and nighttime symptoms because bladder is small, it does not contain enough urine, and they need to void every few hours, and that continues overnight as well. So these are the 3 classical types of bedwetting, and it is a clinical diagnosis. We don't need much investigations. Sometimes we can do ultrasound to look at the bladder capacity and rule out other anatomical disorders of the kidney and bladder. Very rarely, if the bladder and bowel both are involved, we can ask for a MRI of spine just to rule out any neurological causes as well, that no nerve is affected there, which is causing the symptoms. How do we manage it? There are conservative managements and the medical management. Most of the children improve with conservative management, which is very, very simple to handle, but it is most difficult to carry out by parents. These simple techniques are increase the liquid intake to at least 6 to 8 glasses of water every day, make their bladder habits regular, so children are encouraged to go to toilet every couple of hours. The bowel habit should be good, so once or twice opening the bowel. Hygiene should be good, they should take shower or bath every day. And the sleep routine should be addressed, so children stop taking liquid intake 2 hours before the bedtime, and they are promoted to have a gentle, nice sleep, so no screen time. They should go to toilet just before the bedtime, and then they can read the stories or listen to the music, but no blue screen exposure. So these are the simple techniques, and we can reinforce their behavior. So reinforcing means many of the children do not take any ownership of these problems, and by using the reward chart, we try to modify their behavior so that they can be engaged in understanding their problems and managing it as well. And when we do reward chart is again a very simple technique, but most difficult task for parents. Children get bored very quickly and parents lose the interest and perseverance. So reward chart should be towards the behavior, not the outcome. So when I say that the outcome is to be dry, but that is not in children's control or in our control. We can control the behavior of taking good liquid intake, behavior of going to toilet every couple of hours, behavior of keeping us clean. So these things are the goal for the reward charts. And at one time, we should have one goal, make it easy for a few days. Child puts the sticker themselves. Once they are comfortable to jump up, then we gradually increase the goal. Reward should also be very interesting and in liaison with the children, because every individual is different and they get very bored very, very quickly. So we have to sit down every day with the children, with our child, and find out, like a detective, what is going to be their interest, whether it is a toy, it's a meal, or just going for a holiday. Again, the reward should be practical for a family, no high gadgets or very costly objects, but it should be something which they can carry on day-to-day life. Then comes medical intervention. So there are medications for lack of sleep arousal. The first and foremost intervention is a bedwetting alarm. It's a water sensitive alarm which buzzes just when child start having a trickle of urine. It makes a loud sound and a buzzing, and that is supposed to wake up the child, and it is supposed to condition the brain towards the bladder so that the brain understands bladder and bladder understands coordinating better with the brain. It's just like a normal alarm, like we get alarms for getting up early and go to work, and after 3 weeks we don't need the alarm. It's the same principle here as well. But in these children, it is a water sensitive alarm, so it can buzz just on the first trickle. After about 3 to 4 weeks, it should start responding. But if after 6 weeks there is no response, then we can think of other alternatives. Other alternatives are medication, which is a vasopressin derivative called desmopressin. And that desmopressin acts like an artificial hormone at night, and that is supposed to depress the urine production, and child should be able to dry. And after 3 to 6 months, gradually the vasopressin surge is maintained, and that's when we start weaning the medication. The guideline says check and stop the medicine for a week after every 3 months. Practically, it has to be tailored according to the individual needs and the responses. And third medication is anticholinergics, such as a tablet called oxybutynin or tolterodine tartrate. So these basically relax the bladder. So they take away the spasm and irritability. And by relaxing the bladder, the children can store more urine in their bladder. So the high frequency of going to toilet goes down, and the incidence of CPIS or leaking goes down. Apart from that, there are certain other medications which are only done under specialist supervision, and they need to be monitored regularly. So I won't talk about that. But it is very important to know when and what to do at what time. So if you have tried all the conservative measures in liaison with the school health nurses team, which is very common to find out, and if these things are not working, it is important to talk to your GP who can start the desmopressin, and if not, he can think of referring you to a urologist or a specialist pediatrician. The prognosis is generally good if children are started interventions timely, but after 7 years, the response can be prolonged and the prognosis is not that good because the behavior is getting affected and these children invariably get some sort of emotional shock. That's why it is important to start and address these problems early. The things to do are always encourage the child, don't make any shame or name calling. Even if they achieve only half of their goal, that's fine. Praise them, encourage them to do it further. Keep perseverance and don't get frustrated. Keep on changing the rewards, the objects in liaison with your child, and address the bladder habit, bowel habits, hygiene, because you don't want child to get sore around the genitalia, causing these symptoms further worse, and just be positive in the outlook. For further information, you can speak to your GP or the school health nurses, and if necessary, they will guide you for the further routes advice. Thank you.